Hi everyone, hey tribe, it's Denna Babul, the founder of the Fatherless Daughter Project, and I wanted to come together with everybody on our website to let you know exactly what to expect for our crazy exciting first ever Fatherless Daughter Masterclass. We're calling it Project 1 because it's the first ever. And it's going to be held in Atlanta, Georgia, October 14th through 16th. So it's 3 days. You come in Friday night. We start at 6 p.m. and we finish at 9. It's all day Saturday from 8 to 5 or 6. And then you have free time Saturday night. And then Sunday will be from 9 to 12. And then you can be off on your merry way. Why are we doing this? We decided to do this masterclass because we get inundated on our website with people asking for curriculum and, what can I do to help my daughter, or how do I handle my wife who's fatherless? How can I not get over this pain that I'm going through? And, no matter what your age is. And so we decided to put this Fatherless Daughter Masterclass together because I myself and Karin have been through lots of stuff, lots of research. We researched this I started 25 years ago. And what we found was that fatherless daughters tend to take the emotion of what they have going on and the pain from being fatherless, and they put it underground. And what that means is society kept going and really didn't allow them possibly the time to heal. And so what we do as women and as daughters is we forge ahead. That's what everyone else shows us to do. But these emotions and this pain, actually really does catch back up with you. It will in your relationships. It will in all types of places in your life. And so if you're wondering why you're here or why you should come to the masterclass, let me give you a couple of little details. One, you might need just closure. 2, you might be looking for forgiveness. You want to understand yourself a little bit better. You want to reclaim your life and understand your past. You want to be part of our cool tribe. You want to know and maybe connect with your father on the other side. We're going to talk about some juicy details about that. And you might want some grief therapy. Maybe you've been to therapy, or you're in therapy, or therapy didn't work for you, but you're ready to go at it again. We have that jam-packed through the weekend. You want to align your physical, your spiritual, and your mental self. You just want a cool girls weekend because it's going to be fun. We're a lot of fun. If your picker's off, and what I mean by if your picker's off is, maybe you're doing some stuff wrong in the relationship and you're not finding the love that you really want. Maybe you're having trouble in your marriage. Maybe you're having trouble finding the guy. Maybe you're having trouble letting go of the guy, picking the guy. We're going to go over all of that in detail. Relationships are like my hot spot. I love that. We're going to talk about the coping mechanisms that you learned as a child that might need rebooting. Maybe it's not working for you anymore, but it did work for a lot of time in your life. It could be that someone who's fatherless, or you love someone who's fatherless, and you don't know how to help them, or you don't know what to do. If you finally want to stop pushing the pain underground, as I talked about, and you want to turn that pain into power, because you got stuff to do, you got work to do. You don't need to deal with the emotion of your past. So where is it going to be? It's going to be at the Love and Light Institute in Atlanta, Georgia. That's near Emory. And we have hotels within a mile of there that we're going to put you up in. It's October 14th through 16th. So that's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the reason why we did 3 days is the first night, I really just bare my soul, tell my entire story, why I did this, why I founded the Fatherless Daughter Project. I myself have been fatherless since I was 13 years old, and it was a result of a tragedy. And being fatherless was the defining moment in my life. And it's something that I did not choose. It was chosen for me. And because I'm stubborn and my head kept getting knocked over that this is the work I needed to do. I finally buckled myself up and got to work. So we want to do the 3-day weekend because, you know, it's good to come in for a seminar, but what these girls need and what a tribe needs is we all need to get together and look at each other and understand, like, we look like me. We come from all kinds of different backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, financial means. We're all different people. But when I say you look like me, it could be that you're walking around with this pain, but you have this warrior vest on, that I'm not going to let anything else upset me. I'm going to handle the world, and I'm not dealing with this. And it's probably not working out for you, because this will keep tapping you on the shoulder and telling you, as it raises itself with you as a mother, as a wife, as someone in the workplace, as a friend, it catches up with you because that pain is still raw and it's visceral. And it is a journey that continues throughout your life. I wanted it to be a total weekend because we got so many cool people involved. I mean, I have worked my behind off on this, people. We have speakers, which we're going to get into. We have the whole weekend to connect, to meditate, to do yoga, to talk to intuitives, to talk to people in this field that have been working around fatherless. So this weekend will truly set you up to get back out there in the world in a whole new way and really go after what it is you're looking for. But you're going to spend time with girls that are like you, that can relate to you, and will not tell you to get over it. They'll tell you, I understand. And you'll take these relationships and these friendships with you for a lifetime. So let's get into kind of what the expectation is. What I want to make sure that you know is we're giving 15% off today through tomorrow at this time. We're already getting a lot of people signing up and going to the website. And what we found was people were asking lots of questions, which I totally get. But I can tell you, when I was going through the deep, deep, deep pain of losing my father and dealing with it, even though it was when I was 13 and I was in my late 20s when it really kind of bubbled up and I had to, take heat and really do the work, I would have paid anything to come to something like this. Just something where I could pour my soul out, get some help, redirect the energy, and learn how to understand exactly what happened to me and reclaim my life. And so what I want to tell everyone is kind of who we have and what we have in store for the weekend. So the speakers is moi. So I'm Dina. I am the founder of the Fatherless Daughter Project. I am a registered nurse, a life coach, a motivational speaker, a blogger, a podcaster. I mean, I never sleep. And a medical and relationship expert. I founded the Fatherless Daughter Project because I myself obviously am fatherless, and I wanted something where we could all come that felt like home, and where we could understand one another, and where we learn tools and tricks and how to get through and navigate this. So I'll be speaking, I'll be telling my story, I'll be running the entire weekend with some other phenomenal people. The second person is Karen Louise, who is my co-author in my beautiful book, The Fatherless Daughter Project, which came out in June of 2016. This is a Bible. This is the book that I wish I had had all those years ago. And it's a book I still would want to pick up as a fatherless daughter. It meets you where you are in your journey of fatherlessness. It could have happened when you were 10 or 4 or 25 or 45 or 65. And we will meet you where you are in this book. But it's something that I wish I had. And I like the fact that it's bright and exciting. So it's not, something that we look at and we kind of want to hide. Being a fatherless daughter is not something that you want to wear on your sleeve. It's not something you want to go brag about. It's not something that you talk about at dinner with people you've just met. It's something that you hold very sacred, and it's a story you want to keep to yourself until you entrust someone that they can handle what it is that you have to say and what you want to share. Anyway, the second speaker would be Karen Louise. She is the co-founder. She's also the co-author of the Fatherless Daughter Project. She is an author, an educator, a counselor, an inspirational speaker. She meditates like nobody I've ever seen. Just her voice is calming. She is the rainbow of all things you want in a beautiful person that wants to share her light with y'all. So she's going to do some really interesting stuff, some spiritual, mental, and physical healing. I'll add in my medical background, and we'll talk about how pain and loss can come out in your physicality. So not just, addictive, but, maybe you're losing your voice because you're not using your voice. So if you get hoarse a lot, that's something that can happen. If your lower back hurts because you feel like you're having to support yourself and the world around you. There's cancer, breast cancer, there's stomach issues, there's arthritic components, migraine headaches, thyroid issues. It comes out in your body. When you don't deal with the loss or the pain, it comes out. So we're going to discuss that in detail. Another cool speaker that we have is Claire Bidwell Smith. Claire is a grief therapist. She lost both of her parents at a really young age. She's beautiful. She has the book, The Rules of Inheritance, about grief. And it talks about her losing both of her parents. It's a memoir. And it's probably one of the best things I've ever read about grief. And if I panned my camera around in this room, you would see that my bookshelves are full of self-help. And so to say that's a big deal, I wanted Claire involved because not only is her book being made into a movie and adapted for film, she's written a second book called After This, When Life is Over, Where Do We Go? She's going to do a grief workshop for 2 hours on Saturday and just help us deal with grief and understand it. So I can't wait for you to meet Claire. She's really cool. She lives in LA. The next person is Dr. Malti Tuttle, who's a great friend of mine. Malti is at Auburn University. She is a professor there. She started out doing counseling and therapy for children. And so it's really cool. Hey, Darcy from Chicago. Thank you for joining. I'm starting to see everybody. Atlanta, there's like these crazy storms, so I'm sorry if it took a little while to get back on here. Tracy, I see you too. Thanks for showing up. Anyway, I know a lot of y'all are tuning in, so I really appreciate it. I think my father-in-law even tuned in. Hey, senior. Anyway, back to Dr. Tuttle. She does a lot of stuff with children. And the reason why I wanted to bring Malti into this, not only is she adorable, one of my very best friends, we were in a small group together years ago. And the thing about Malti is she is so humble. And she has helped so many young kids and young girls through this process. And unfortunately, this can be cyclical. So if your mother was fatherless, there's a chance you might be fatherless. And I get so many emails with girls going, how do I help my 12-year-old? I have a friend of mine, Lisa, in LA, that emailed me and said, should I bring her to, my daughter who is below 18, should I bring her to this? This is something you want to bring your moms, your best friends, drag your husband. We're going to have men there, I promise you. But bring everybody in, the people that haven't been able to understand you. Come sit them down that weekend. It's not going to be complete doldrum, I promise you. It's going to be full of high energy, excitement, yoga, grief therapy. God, we're going to talk to an intuitive, which I'm going to tell you about. The next person is Mr. John Finch. So John is a storyteller, and he is the creator of the Father Effect. I keep looking over here because I got all my notes, people. I can't memorize all this. He is the creator of the Father Effect, and you could check that out online. He lost his father to suicide when he was very young. And he dedicated his life to this as well because he felt like being fatherless and how it affected his life was also his purpose. Mr. Finch is a wealth of knowledge. We wanted to bring him in to tell his story. He's an awesome storyteller, to talk about it from a man's point of view, and talk to the men in the audience or the women in the audience that want to say, hey, this is the relationship issue I got going on. What do you think? What does this mean? Is my picker off? Is it something I'm doing? Why do I keep recreating or picking people that were like my father, even though I'm trying to stay far away? Or you just, maybe lost your father to death and you miss him. It's really interesting. He's going to have a lot to say. He's going to help me with the relationship part. Is something that I dearly love with this. I want you to know he takes this so serious that he mortgaged his house at one point to make this movie. So this guy's very serious about fatherlessness. The next girl is that's going to be a speaker and also a yoga instructor is Miss Charlotte Otley. If y'all saw my video the other day, Charlotte is the coolest of the cool. She is total chill energy. She's a healer, a yoga instructor. They call her intuitive healer. I went in to take her yoga class, and she literally beat on my chest right here for a little while and was like, you know, we got to loosen up your energy and your chakras. And honey, I walked out of there like singing. She does the coolest ever yoga. She, you know, you do it in teams, and stretching and being in something, you know, as serious as what's going to go on. You need to kind of get some energy out and stretch a little bit and have a little bit of fun. She's got the coolest music I've ever heard. So we got some cool stuff going on with her. And last but not least is Jamie Butler. She's known as the Everyday Medium, wellness expert, and she is the host of The Lighter Side, which is a podcast I did just this morning. She is an intuitive. So, you know, wherever you're coming from a spiritual aspect, you will find a spot here. Jamie is just the sweetest, coolest girl I've ever met. She has the Love and Light Institute. She has helped me, you know, forge a better relationship with my father on the other side. We're actually closer now than we were when he was here because he was too young and the relationship just could not evolve. And I've evolved enough to know that now my dad and I have this great relationship. I talk to him all the time. So I wanted Jamie Butler to come in and teach you, if this is your thing, how to talk to him on the other side, how to relate to him. It's not cuckoo, it's woo-woo, that's what she says. But the truth is, it's unbelievable if you ever experience what she does, and I wanted to share that with y'all. So we are jam-packed, let me tell you. We have so much good stuff coming for you. I cannot wait. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is kind of when you get there, what to expect. So we're keeping it a small enough number that you can really engage and get to know the people around you and, you know, get to know me, talk to me, give me the situation you have and let me have some one-on-one time with you and actually help you. We're going to have multiple therapists there, people from every walk of life, but that also have been involved in some way with helping people or dealing with their own fatherless issue and have gone on to make that a purpose. So all these people are going to be just like us. Not only will you get all these speakers, you'll get the intuitive readings. We're going to meditate like nobody's business. When I went to Gabrielle Bernstein's Spirit Junkie class back in the day, and Gabby's a great friend, she actually wrote, you know, a blurb for the back of my book. Let's see what Gabby said. She said, the Fatherless Daughter Project is a soulful guide to overcoming pain and loss. This book clears the pathway for life-changing recovery and deep personal growth. Amen, sister. But, you know, I wasn't a big meditator, and I have to tell you, I don't always meditate. But when I do meditate, it's crazy what comes up. And you know, I know the connection is a little weak here, which I'm sorry. But we're getting there. We're getting there. It's a crazy storm out here, which I do not appreciate, people. We need the rain and everything to stop. But when I meditated, one of the first times I did like a really deep meditation was with Gabby. And I got to tell you, it changed my world. I felt like I got untethered from a lot of old pain. I felt happy, full of energy, and I had this beautiful time with my father. And so if you've lost your father due to death, come into a weekend like this, meditating and just getting to spend time with him. You know, how would you not want that? And this, you know, people sometimes wonder, like, what is a fatherless daughter? And when you see that, you think, well, my dad didn't die, so I'm not fatherless. You know, the way we explain it is a fatherless daughter is someone who has lost the emotional bond between the father and herself due to, but not limited to, death, divorce, incarceration, addiction, abuse, or just sheer abandonment. He could, be a workaholic. He could sit on the couch right beside you as you grew up and just not checked in emotionally. And he thought, well, I was there physically, so, I'm good. I'm all good. And this isn't to slam men or anything. This is to educate you and all of us. We have a lot of men that come to us. We actually did a part in the book called, what is it? It's just like The Bachelor. What was the name that we called it? I'm blanking for some reason. The Men Tell All, God. Anyway, we interviewed a bunch of men and got their take on what it's like to be with one of us. The good, the bad, the ugly, the fun, the crazy, and what they can learn, and so we're going to bring men into this. The way it breaks down, if you lost your father due to death, you're a little different than the girl that lost her father due to divorce or abandonment. If you lost your father due to death, you basically have a lot of separation anxiety. So if someone leaves you, you might overreact. You tend to, somewhat put him on a pedestal and idealize your father. Even if on earth he wasn't the great father, we make him to be that. It's what we make it to be. But we tend to be the saddest about the loss. Whereas if you are fatherless due to death or, divorce or abandonment, we get pissed off. These are the girls that, have a lot of anger and mixed feelings and, I'll show you. So it goes two different ways, but the fatherless daughter herself is still the same. At the core of it, we still just want to find love. We just want to be loved. And we really want to figure out how to get it right, So don't fret. We've done all the work for you. We're going to show you how to get it right. I want to say get it right. I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to start rapping. But we want to show you how to get it together and, know who you are and know that this doesn't define you. It's just a part of your journey. It's not the entire journey. You don't have to be a victim for the rest of your life. But there is a point in time where you have to realize that you have to sit in it and you have to do the work, and it's okay. It's okay to be uncertain. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be sad 30 years later. Hell, I am. The worst day for a fatherless daughter is Father's Day. It's when we feel the most different. It's when we feel unworthy. Well, what happened to me? Everybody else has their dad, but, I don't. And I want to kind of change that and let people understand that we're here. This is your home, the Fatherless Daughter Project, and we get you, totally get you. But, I want you to take the time and come do the work and just realize that this isn't a whole bunch of people, sitting around and crying over spilled milk and being sadsy all the time. We're going to take this weekend and we're going to have highs and lows. We're going to make sure we meditate together and that we, share. We're going to share stories. We're going to get to know each other real good. And we're going to empower one another. We're going to dance. We're going to eat. And we're going to have a damn good time. So, again, the Masterclass is October 14th through 16th in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm so sorry that the weather sucks so bad in Atlanta, which messed up our live feed. I see a lot of people were trying to get on and they couldn't. And Natalie was saying, bear with us. We're trying to work on this. It looks like Denise just joined. I think maybe we're getting it all back together. I've been rambling. And I'm just so freaking excited, y'all. This is what you keep asking for, people. This is what y'all emailing me about. This is what you text me about. This is what you instant message me about. Everybody going, let me tell you my situation. What do I do? Well, we're going to show you what to do. And if you can't make it to Atlanta, we're trying to figure out a way to Skype it. We're going to continue to do these. But to be part of this very first project, Masterclass Project 1, is a really, really unique opportunity. we're seeing that the universe is showing up and telling us that y'all need this, y'all want this desperately, and we're here to serve. We're here to help you through the work. Wouldn't it be cool to come spend a weekend and just feel like you healed so much and you're ready to take charge in your life? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be good to take the baggage and the heavy load that you're carrying and be able to sit it down for a little while and look at it and understand what it was for what it is? I mean, you might still have questions. When should I re-engage with my father? Should I re-engage with my father? What do I do if he doesn't want me? What do I do if he's passed? You know, how do I handle all these things? The interesting part to me about being fatherless is that everybody thinks their story's the worst story. And they are. I mean, we all have these really hurtful stories. But people will send me, you know, these messages and go, let me tell you what happened. And the truth of the matter is, we all have stories. We're all affected. But girls, we're all the same girl. We are leaders. We take control, honey. We take control. We are leaders in our jobs. We are leaders in our homes. We are the best friends you'll ever have. We're loyal to a fault. And we don't put up with a whole bunch of shit, okay? And so a girl who's fatherless can go from 0 to 60 pretty fast. And I'm not talking about on the cray scale. I'm talking about she's either completely indifferent or possibly really upset. We're going to show you how to kind of live in the middle, and that you don't have to, you know, go around picking the bad guys or picking someone who can't be there for you emotionally, that may have committed to you through marriage or may be your boyfriend, and maybe he's not showing up the way he's supposed to. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, you know, what you can do to learn from this situation. We're going to talk about how to stop the cycle, okay? We have these crazy good speakers. You know, we've lined up all these people for you. We have this beautiful place, the Love and Light Institute. It's in the middle of Atlanta, Georgia, so you can find plenty to do. We're going to feed you. And honey, we are going to spend some time together. I just want you to know the energy is off the chain. We have all been meeting and working really, really hard to get this going. And I know everybody has questions, and I know I get so many emails about what do I expect? You know, how much does it cost? Why does it cost this much? You know, the reason is we're getting people in here. We got a lot of people that are speaking. We got food, we got hotel rooms, we got transportation. It's a lot to get all that going, which is the other reason why I wanted to give the 15% off, because it's filling up. We want to make sure we have room for everybody. And look, if there's a situation and you want to get here and it's a financial situation for you, email me. Let's talk about it. Let's understand what's going on and try to get you, if not to this one, to maybe to the next one. But I'm here for you. This is what I've dedicated my entire life to. I've been fatherless, like I said, since I was 13 years old. It is a wound. It doesn't go away. And it's not a story that you really want to share with people that don't understand. Sometimes it's an embarrassment. It's crazy to me that being fatherless, that we as women internalize that and make it our fault. It's about him, whether he died or whether he just left. It's about him. It really isn't a reflection on you. But I know what it's like to want that person to show up for you and to hope that he shows up for you. And the really interesting part of this is he can. You know, we can reteach these guys how to re-engage. The other weekend, I was going to get a hotel space for all of you. And I went into this hotel, and there was this really nice older man. He was like, hey, what's up? Come on in, blah, blah, blah. And he was like Mr. Happy, a concierge. And we started talking. I just had that feeling like this guy's, you know, had some issues with his children. And he said, so what are you blocking the rooms for? What's your event? And I said, the Fatherless Daughter Project people. And he started crying. This jovial guy just started crying. And I said, what's wrong? And he said, I left my kids. He said, I was in the war. My wife was getting on my nerves. And he said, you know, I started partaking in a little too much to drink, and I just took off. And he's crying in the middle of this huge hotel in Atlanta at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And he said, how do I get back? What do I got to do? And I said, all you have to do is say, I'm sorry, and I want to be in your life. And this guy's in his 60s. He held my hand and said, thank you so much for coming in today. I'm going to call my son and my daughter. Let me tell you, that's why I do this. It was so powerful. And that's what's going to happen for your weekend, okay? Whether you want to re-engage with your father, whether you should, whether you shouldn't, how it affects you physically, mentally, spiritually, how you can be a better mother, a better wife, a better partner. Because you got to get ready so that you can get the love you want and get the love that you're supposed to have. If you feel unworthy, or if your father was in and out of your life and you have realized that, maybe not subconsciously or consciously, that, you know what, I'm choosing men that aren't showing up for me in the way that I need them. You might say, God, my husband's a great guy. Like, he takes care of us financially, but maybe he's not doing the emotional work, right? He might be doing just what your dad did. Maybe he is trying, but not trying hard enough. You got to show these people what you are going to put up with and what your worth is. And you got to train these guys, I just want you to know, hey, Ashley, my cousin joined. I see JJ and Lisa and all these great people. Hey, ladies. But what I just want you to know is your dad could have sat right beside you every single day. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. Your dad could have sat right beside you every day and just not been in your life appropriately. And you have deep pain from it. You're hurt. You might talk to him every day. I have a friend of mine that has a father. They talk about the weather only. They call, how are you, honey? How are you? How are things going? What's going on with your life? And that's the only conversation they have. And she cries and cries like, I just wish he knew what his absence did to me for those years. But you know what? She's scared to confront him because guess what? She doesn't want to be reabandoned again. She doesn't want to feel the pain again that he could possibly leave if she pushes the envelope. We're going to talk about it. So I just want you to know we have so much good stuff in line for you. There's so many great things we're doing October 14th through 16th. I cannot wait to sit in the room with all of you girls, Indian style, on our yoga mats and discuss everything that we need to discuss. The Fatherless Daughter Project, Masterclass, Project 1, people, is coming. I've worked my ass off to bring this to you and to make this happen. I have spent over 30 years researching and doing this work. I know what you need. We all know what you need. We have lined up the best group of ladies. I just want you to know we're going to show up for you. And let me tell you, you're going to walk out of that weekend feeling 20 pounds lighter. You are going to know how you want to attack your life, what you want to do in that relationship, what you want to do or tell your mom or maybe even your father. And you're going to sit back and go, why in the hell did I not do this? Why did I wait so long to come do this work? Because let me tell you, it is freedom when you do the work. It's the best thing to do. Anyway, I'm going to quit rambling. I've been on here forever and a day. The rain stopped, and I now have someone else tell me something's wrong with the video. So I hope this video worked, people. You can watch it again on Facebook. I hope it shows up for you. If not, I can curl my hair again and put some makeup on and get back on the video. Kyra, I hope you heard that part because I know that would make you laugh. But I just want y'all to know I can be here at any time. If you have a question, if you're not sure or you're on the fence about, coming to the project, do what your gut tells you. If it is time for you, figure it out and make it get here, okay? Do it. Do it. You're important enough to spend the weekend and put the time into healing that big heart of yours. Take the time to do it, I promise you, you will feel so much better. You'll go back home. If you're single, men will be flocking to you, going crazy because your energy will be on fire. If you're married, you'll go back and kind of say, look, this is some stuff we need to work on. Whatever's going on with your dad or your family situation, your nuclear family or your siblings or whatever's happening in your world, you'll be ready to attack it in a different way. We're going to teach you some new coping mechanisms, and we're going to be there. We're your sisters. This is your tribe. If it's your time, please show up. We would love to have you, and I can't wait to meet you. Thank you so much for sitting through this and the weather and all this crazy stuff. If you need me to do it again, I'll be glad to get on Facebook, but you can rewatch this, learn about all of the awesome speakers we have. Just to run back through it real quick, so the everyday medium, Jamie Butler, will be there. She is intuitive. She is can help you talk to people that have passed. She has written like 20 or 30 books or something crazy. She's international. She's world renowned. For me to get her to come for the hour or 2 hours of that weekend is huge, people. I'm telling you. I'd pay $10 million to see her every single day. If she would be my own personal therapist, I would take it. So I promise you, you want to come for her. Charlotte Otley, who's going to really teach us how to stretch and yoga and get our chakras back in line and our energy and let go of that pain that's making us sit like this or giving us the headache or the lower back pain or whatever we're doing. Charlotte's going to get your energy right back in track. John Finch, we have a man, honey. We have men. He's going to come and talk about the father effect. He's going to talk about it from a male's point of view. So we got Mr. Finch. We got Malty Tuttle, who, hey, Julie. Hey, girl. We're going to talk to Malty Tuttle and let her talk about how it affects us developmentally and emotionally. So if you have a daughter or, sorry, my battery thing just showed up. And so many things. So if you have a daughter that's dealing with this, if you were young when it happened, we're going to talk about how to approach that. We have Claire Bidwell Smith, who is the grief therapist, who's going to come in and talk to us and teach us about grief and how to rise above and how to deal with grief in a really positive way. So we're excited about that. We have Karen, Dr. Karen Louise. We laugh because when we're doing any kind of media, they call her Karen Luce and me Denna Babul. So Karen Louise is going to be there, and she's my co-author. She's going to bring beautiful energy and healing, putting this whole thing together from a mental, spiritual, and physical side. She's going to talk deep, deep, deep about forgiveness. You do not want to miss that. And then you get little old me. And I'm going to talk about everything under the sun. Obviously, I don't ever shut up. I'm going to tell you my story. I'm going to get there right beside you, and I'm going to cry with you, or I'm going to, say, you know what, it might be time to break up with that dude, or you know what, you're being too hard on him. I want to hear your story, and I'm going to tell you mine. I'm going to tell all of it, all the ugly parts and everything. So I'm going to be right there with you. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. And I really, 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 really appreciate this. If it is your time and you're ready to do the work and you want to come sit down with some other women, tell your men, tell your friends, whoever, hey, I'm just going for a girls' weekend. Let's come reboot you, girl. Join us. If you need anything, email us at Fatherless Daughter Project. We'll be, obviously talking about this through October. And if you're not going to come in October, I have an online course that will be up in 2 weeks. And it's how to get the love you want, taking the dysfunction from childhood out of your adult relationships, people. So it's going to be really cool. I'm excited about that. I can't wait. But it's an online course, so you can do that. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go get some chocolate because I'm hungry. And thank you so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. We love you, tribe. I can't wait for you to see the cool bracelets we're getting made, too. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Thank you. See you soon.